Today we present you with 10 occasions where even WWE hardcore fans were fooled by WWE. Number 10. Chris Jericho as Doink the Clown. When William Regal vowed to take everything Chris Jericho cared about in early 2001, that included Y2J's Intercontinental Championship. Booking himself into a title match at WrestleMania 17, Regal seemed the favorite to win and aimed to prove himself on the Raw before the pay-per-view when he took on Crash Holly. A standard match, the bout was interrupted by Doink the Clown, who appeared from the crowd, attacking the British brawler with a flurry of offense. As the assault continued, many fans wondered how the aging jobber had suddenly become an incredible athlete, until the Crown Prince of WWE revealed it was actually Jericho. Locking Regal in the walls of Jericho, the Fozzy frontman clearly had the psychological advantage going into their title match after weeks of being forced into handicap matches by the commissioner. This attack clearly paid off, as Jericho was able to retain the title against Regal in the show's opener, while Doink, the real Doink, would later appear in the Gimmick Battle Royal, where he lost to the Iron Sheik. Number 9. Eric Angle as Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle may go down as having the greatest rookie year in WWE history. Debuting at the 1999 Survivor Series, the Olympian would have a meteoric rise to the top, and by Survivor Series 2000 was riding high as WWF champion. Unfortunately for Kurt, it seemed his reign was going to be a short one, as he was scheduled to face The Undertaker, who had recently returned as the American Biker. Facing in the ring, nobody gave Kurt a chance, and though Angle crawled under the ring, there was no escaping the Phenom. Retrieving Angle from under the ring, Taker hit the last ride, though he and everyone watching was shocked when the referee refused to count the pin. It turned out during his escapade underneath the ring, Kurt had switched with real-life brother Eric Angle, who had taken the last ride for him. Off his game, the dead man fell victim to a roll-up by the real Kurt, who was able to retain the title. A genius plan, the pair pulled it off again 3 years later, when Angle defended the gold against Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. Again, it was Eric who took the bullet, being hit with an F5 before Brock was rolled up by the Olympic gold medalist. Number 8. Dean Malenko as Cyclope. WCW may be dead and buried, but one thing the company certainly did better than the WWF at the time was the cruiserweight division. Allowing American audiences to see high-flying action, there's no shortage of popular cruiserweights, and one of the biggest feuds in 1998 involved Dean Malenko and Chris Jericho. Having forced the man of 1,000 holds from the company in March, Jericho was riding high as the arrogant champion, and at Slamboree, eagerly awaited a battle royal to determine his opponent for later that night. When it came down to two, Juventud Guerrera and the unknown Cyclope, fans were shocked to see Guerrera eliminate himself, allowing Cyclope the win. Confident he would beat the unknown star, the smile was quickly wiped from Y2J's face as Cyclope unmasked, revealing himself to be Malenko, who received a truly deafening reaction from the crowd. Facing off immediately after, the pair would engage in a short, entertaining bout which saw the Iceman winning the title and finally getting his revenge on the arrogant Y2J. Number 7. Austin Aries as Suicide. Though his time in WWE may have been brief, Austin Aries is known by fans as one of the most entertaining stars in Impact Wrestling history. An innovator in and out of the ring, Aries' athletic style is matched only by his creative mind, and in 2012 created Option C, allowing the X Division champion to surrender the title for a shot at the world title. Capturing the TNA World Championship at Destination X 2012, Option C quickly became the focus for all the wrestlers, as whoever held the title by next year's pay-per-view would get the chance of cashing in. When Suicide returned to the company and won the X Division title on the eve of Destination X, everyone was shocked, especially authority figure Hulk Hogan, who revealed the man behind the mask, future Cruiserweight champion TJ Perkins, had been attacked backstage and his costume stolen. That of course meant that the Suicide in the ring wasn't the real deal, but was in fact Aries, who looked to cash in Option C for the second time. Number 6. Eric Bischoff as the Priest. There are very few people in the wrestling world who can say that they stuck it to Vince McMahon, but for 83 weeks, Eric Bischoff did exactly that. Leading WCW during the Monday Night Wars, Bischoff would eventually join the WWE in 2002 after WCW's demise and was appointed the general manager of Raw. As the head of the Raw brand, Bischoff found himself at odds with SmackDown's Stephanie McMahon and decided to mess with the daughter of his old rival with his role in the Billy and Chuck wedding ceremony. The climax of a long-running love angle between the pair, the duo were convinced by their manager Rico to marry live on SmackDown on the September 12, 2002 episode. After revealing that they weren't actually gay and that the story was just a publicity stunt by Rico, it was the old stuttering priest who seemed to be the voice of reason. In true stroke of booking genius, though, the priest was revealed to be Bischoff, who ripped off the geriatric latex mask to the shock of everyone. Calling in his cronies Rosie and Jamal of 3-Minute Warning, the Raw invaders decimated the stars of SmackDown, including Stephanie, who was leveled with a Samoan drop. A genius ploy by Bischoff, this moment has lived with fans all these years after it happened, as a reminder of Bischoff's motto that controversy creates cash. Number 5. DDP as La Parka. Critics of WCW may say that the company hoarded all of WWE's old stars, but one name they certainly made for themselves was Diamond Dallas Page. Joining wrestling in his 30s, Page quickly gained a huge fan base with his incredible skill and had his breakout moment in his career-making feud with Macho Man Randy Savage. When Savage entered the ring to face La Parka in a routine match on Nitro, many fans expected to see Page at some point, though no one predicted how the future yoga instructor would make his presence known. Just minutes into the match, La Parka would hit Savage with an uncharacteristic diamond cutter, leaving the crowd taken aback at the sight of Savage's face being planted into the mat. Unmasking, the so-called La Parka was revealed to be DDP, who had imitated La Parka's moves perfectly during the match. Covering Savage for the pin, the win was a huge shock to everyone, and gave Page a huge advantage going into their tag team showdown at Bash at the Beach just days later, a match which would see Savage, along with Scott Hall, get his win back. Number 4. Chris Jericho as Sin Cara. When rumors started appearing that Chris Jericho had been knocked out by Sin Cara in England in late 2016, Y2J was quick to debunk them. Despite Jericho's efforts, though, the rumors gained a lot of traction, as both men had been involved in backstage altercations that year, with Sin Cara lying out Simon Gotch not long before, and Jericho standing up to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam after the Beast had bloodied Randy Orton. While what actually happened remains a mystery to the fans, Jericho's response to the rumor is fondly remembered. When Kevin Owens defended his Universal title against Seth Rollins on the November 21, 2016 edition of Raw, both men gave it their all for the gold. Ultimately, the difference maker was a man from the crowd in a Sin Cara mask, who cost Rollins the match, and was very quickly revealed to be Jericho, who had been banned from ringside earlier that night. Though brief, Jericho's donning of the mask was Y2J at his very best, being a subtle nod to smart fans, a shocking moment for casual fans, and a big screw you to those fueling rumors, all of this done in mere minutes. Number 3. The Undertaker as Kane. The Undertaker is one of WWE's most tenured and respected superstars, so many fans were shocked when the Phenom no-showed a handicap match on Raw in 1998 against his brother Kane and Mankind. Though the odds were not in his favor, the Phenom had plenty going for him, as the winner of the match would receive a shot at Stone Cold's WWF title. With the dead man nowhere in sight, Vince McMahon ordered Kane and Mankind to go after each other, something Foley was very hesitant to do. On the other hand, Kane had no problem attacking his tag team partner, viciously teeing off on Foley with a steel chair. Pinning Mankind after a demonic beatdown, Kane's hand was raised, but the monstrous victor quickly unmasked himself, revealing it to be The Undertaker in disguise, who was now the #1 contender for Austin's title. An effective ploy, the Phenom would pull a similar stunt less than a year later, dressing as his not-so-little brother on the eve of WrestleMania 15 to attack Triple H before returning to the shadows. Number 2. Edge and Christian as Los Conquistadors. When Los Conquistadors returned to the WWF in 2000, no one was that impressed. The two hadn't been seen in the company for over a decade and had been nothing more than jobbers during their initial run. However, these conquistadors were very different to the ones before, and after attacking the Hardys with a series of tag team moves, it was clear that the pair were really Edge and Christian. Denying the obvious allegations, the Canadians tried to hide their tracks by having two unknown stars dress as the conquistadors backstage so the four characters could be seen at the same time. When Edge and Christian as the conquistadors captured the title from the Hardy Boys, their master plan was put into action, as the pair aimed for two jobbers to don the costume and defend the titles against E&C in what should have been an easy title win. However, Los Conquistadors showed to be much tougher against Edge and Christian and retained the titles before revealing themselves as Matt and Jeff. With Commissioner Mick Foley announcing the Hardys as the true tag team champions, fans were pleased to realize that the cocky blonde Canadians had essentially won the titles from their foes for their foes. Number 1. Ric Flair as the Black Scorpion. After Ric Flair and Sting had battled dozens of times for the NWA Championship, everyone involved knew they needed something fresh. Thus entered the Black Scorpion, a mysterious, masked figure who was hell-bent on defeating the Stinger in WCW and claiming the title for his own. The only problem was that no one, including those backstage, knew who the Black Scorpion was supposed to be. Billed as someone from Sting's past, many thought it could have been a horseman, perhaps Ole Anderson, who was giving the Black Scorpion his haunting voice. Unfortunately, Ole broke his arm not long after the Scorpion's debut, meaning he couldn't be the man behind the mask. After bringing in WCCW worker Al Perez, it seemed things were going to be okay, until Perez said he wouldn't face Sting, and the company was once again without a Scorpion. The feud built to a climax at Starrcade 1990. The company were desperate and eventually turned to reliable Ric Flair to don the mask, the same man who the Scorpion was supposed to replace as the Stinger's new nemesis. After a nearly 20-minute bout, it was clear that the Scorpion was Flair, leaving the fans watching underwhelmed. Well guys, that's our list. What wrestling moments fooled you? Let us know in the comments down below. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. If you indeed like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss a single new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.